can we get a non-paying client to honor their payment terms? This is a big one, and it's the same for both a client and, in the not-for-profit world, a donor who has made a pledge. And although there may be different words and different techniques, it's the same underlying principle. There's an integrity here, and there's the integrity of someone being his or her word, and there's the integrity of workability. So the first thing I would do is make sure that there's clarity in the arrangement. Is everyone clear and on the same page about what the donor or the client's intention is? In the case of for-profit services, is there clarity in, is the client clear in the scope of services? Is the client clear that those services are being rendered or services were rendered? You get clear also, is the client happy with the services? Sometimes a client isn't going to necessarily say it, that they're unhappy with the services, but they'll suddenly be out of communication or the cash stops flowing. And it's worth digging deeper to find out how things are the way they see them. Is it an issue with the service? Is it an issue with their faith in your company? Is it a pure cash flow issue and they're ashamed and eating themselves up with guilt that they promised to pay you but they can't? First, find out how it is from their point of view, and it's tricky to do because money is a funny thing and so is integrity. And what I would do is to create, and if it's a big enough donor or big enough client, it's worth it to invest the time and set up a one-on-one conversation in person if possible, over video if in person is not impossible, video is a good plan B, or phone. Don't do it over email. Really invite a warm conversation to find out how things are from their point of view. Don't necessarily lay on the pressure that's my approach. There are other CFOs who would say, run to a lawyer. I get that. We have utilized the services of attorneys ourselves, to the benefit of our household and our organization. And maybe that would be the case. But first, find out how things are from their point of view. If they're out of communication, then I would really get concerned and I might seek some outside resources. I might consult with an attorney if they're completely out of communication. And if you've paid them a personal visit, a kind and warm personal visit, if the account warrants it, you might consider doing that. And just to get to know how are things for you right now. And you use that clarity to create alignment. We've provided these services and I know that this is your situation right now. Can we work together to make this right? Are you interested in working together to make this right? As long as there's communication, there's hope. Anybody who's a Star Trek fan can tell you that. Because when there's a ship and the captain says, hailing frequencies, this Facebook Live is a success when I've made my Star Trek reference. And the captain says, hailing frequencies, right? Nobody's making any judgment. If they respond, then great, you're communicating. But if they don't respond, they assume you're an enemy. And I think it's a good technique for business, not to assume that someone's an enemy per se, but to definitely send up the yellow alert if someone's out of communication and take quick action. So those are some thoughts. And also bear in mind, if they're out of integrity with what they promised, that means it's more risk for your organization. So in order to restore that integrity, it's not just about honoring the original payment terms. You have to do something to reduce the risk on your organization. So techniques include a commitment to more frequent payments to, let's say, pay it off. Techniques include automatic payments. Like we'll step you through the process and you have to engage in automatic payments in order to make this right. Techniques could include an accelerated payment schedule beyond what was previously agreed to. They breached their agreement, they breached your trust. As your CFO for this half hour, I am recommending that you propose terms that are not the same as what there was before, but something to restore the fair allocation of risk in the arrangement. Another technique which you might apply is automatic and electronic payments, and have your finger on the button with an app like Bill.com, where you're not relying on their sending you automatic payments by setting up something in their bank's online bill pay, for example, but you use an app like Bill.com or some other apps to set up an automatic stream of electronic payments.